Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 105 of the most must-see show to ever hit the Bedford TV airwaves, or any airwaves, north, south, east, or west, the Wrestling Connection. I'm your host, as always, your pontiff of professional wrestling, Mr. Ken Hill. Sadly, the other two-thirds of the Stronghold cannot be here with me today, but I promise to deliver on 3 times the fun. Alongside me, as always, is Mr. Brian Dorrington Jr. And, of course,
the camera on us? The camera's not set up on us. People just have to use their imagination.
Yes,
or I could just cut to the Undertaker.
You have to use your very vivid imaginations, as you do with every show.
Every Wrestling Connection show.
At the Wrestling Connection, where it's all about imagination.
All right, continue on.
All right. Anyway, like I said, we're just gonna jump right into things right here. We do have a few important bits to go over for this week in review. First off, starting things off, we all know about the Shane McMahon Undertaker Hell in the Cell match. It's been made for WrestleMania 32, where control of Raw, if not the WWE, is on the line. Vince and Undertaker came out this week to say some important words concerning Shane and concerning the match at WrestleMania. Now, Vince had made some. Now, Vince, this had a bit of a high and a low to it. Vince did have some very impactful words. He essentially made it clear that if Shane were to lose, that Vince would ultimately disown Shane as his son. He would no longer be his son, but merely son of a, well, you know. Undertaker came out, and normally Undertaker is even Undertaker at this point is very verbose. He builds up a match well. Okay, he's always been part of some of the biggest builds to his WrestleMania matches, such as Undertaker versus Lesnar, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels versus Triple H versus Punk. I mean, he's always been essential to the build of his WrestleMania matches. I mean, let's face facts. It took longer for him to make his ceremonial entrance to the ring than it did to say the words he had to say, than it did his promo. Essentially, his promo amounted to, your son's blood will be on your hands, not mine. I wish I was summarizing, but that was basically it. He said all that and left. I mean, so I find that a little disheartening, Brian. I find it a little disheartening just because I was expecting so much more. They were building up so much for Undertaker's appearance on Raw, and that was it.
Well, and they're going to need to give us more because it doesn't really make sense why somebody like The Undertaker would do Vince McMahon's bidding for him. They haven't really set up why Undertaker's even agreed to help Vince McMahon in this match. Hopefully it's going to involve that he owes him something, or maybe we're going to see even more of some sort of a heel turn from The Undertaker. But right now the storyline is just leaving a lot of gaps to be filled in.
I mean, yeah, no, there are a lot of plot holes left in this one that haven't been filled in. Like you said, why is Undertaker working for Vince? Does Vince have something on Taker like Shane has something on Vince? I mean, does Taker feels like he owes the McMahon family for the opportunities he received at WrestleMania? I mean, just for his career. I mean, we don't know. Okay, I mean, there's clearly something at work here, or it could just be that Taker's just doing Vince a favor and Vince owes Taker something. We don't know. Again, a lot more questions to be asked here than I want more questions posed here than answers answered. You know what I mean? All right. So the next the next big piece leading to WrestleMania was actually not Reigns and Triple H, but rather Ambrose and Triple H. Triple H coming out to talk about how now he is the predominant man. He is the authority. Everyone should essentially bow down and look to him for the future. That you can't fight fate, can't fight authority, so on and so forth. which would bring out who has been the underrated face of anti-authority in Dean Ambrose, who essentially objected to the idea and more or less posed a challenge to Triple H, not just as a means of getting revenge for his friend Reigns, but just because he wanted to be the one stupid, quote unquote, stupid enough to challenge authority, and even went so far as to challenge Triple H for his WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now,
I'd ask you to switch, Chris, but I'm sure you don't know who the hell these wrestlers are.
Now, this coupled with the end of the night, where we were kept waiting and waiting for whether Triple H would grant Ambrose a championship opportunity, and we find out, and then Ambrose faces off with Del Rio of the League of Nations. Obviously, it devolves into a whole kerfuffle with the entire League of Nations, where they beat the absolute bejesus out of Ambrose leave him prime pickings for Triple H. That's not the photo. I think. There we go. Leaving prime pickings for Triple H. Triple H waltzes in, says, "Okay, Dean, you just can't fight fate," like I said before. Only for Dean to clock Triple H with a well-placed right hand, going after the game, even after being beaten down by the League of Nations, only to get pedigreed for his efforts, and Triple H would leave the ring, only for Dean to get on the mic and actually go so far as to, then Triple H would get steamed. He felt insulted by Dean, and he actually accepted Dean's proposal for a championship match in the future, which we would find out would be at the WWE special WWE Roadblock. Now, after this, Ambrose would go so far as to audaciously say thank you to Triple H, like to Hunter, like he was playing this out, like this was his ultimate plan, and he got what he wanted. And Triple H snaps. Walt takes off his jacket, storms back down to the ring, just starts laying into Ambrose like he did Reigns the week before, and just leaving Ambrose laid out on the table, just one big bruise. All right, there we go. All right, so Brian, here's where the booking just really gets to me here. It's just the crowd was completely for Triple H beating the crap out of Reigns, which was not the reaction you wanted at all going into WrestleMania. You wanted Triple H as the evil authority figure. You wanted Reigns as the conquering, against all odds babyface, and it was not working at all. Here we have 1 week of Ambrose getting in the face of authority, getting the face of Triple H, challenging him, and the crowd is all for it. There was not one moment where they are applauding Triple H beating up Ambrose. Not one moment. Okay, the moment Ambrose got in that one lick against Triple H, the crowd was all over it. They were all for Ambrose, and this is what I'm talking about.
I mean, are we shocked?
No, we're not. This isn't
nobody's
shocked.
I mean, is creative WWE creative? They might be shocked because they're behind on what the fans want in terms of Reigns. But no, I'm not shocked. I expected this. Dean Ambrose is the better anti-authority figure, anti-hero. He's just the best one. He's like Stone Cold Steve Austin, CM Punk type guy. Yeah. He's the best to go and challenge any type of authority. So
right.
And now the WWE is stuck with Reigns and Triple H at pay-per-view. I mean at WrestleMania. So they're just going to have to roll with that. But I think that we're getting a view of further down the line that we are going to see Ambrose take on the authority without Reigns.
Right. So now, we'll actually get into the match that was made between Ambrose and Triple H just a little bit later. Continuing on with the last segment for this week in review, We had the Divas match. We actually had the Divas #1 contendership for the Divas Championship between Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. Of course, both former NXT Divas in their own right. We had this controversial ending from Raw where they ended up having a double pin on one another after just being exhausted, just collapsing to a double pin, which would result in a no contest. And a rematch would be announced later for, I know, a very, bit suggestive according to Julie's reactions. But yeah, this would lead to a rematch on SmackDown where it was going much the same way, except this time Charlotte would stick her nose in this, laying out both Sasha and Becky at the same time, causing a double disqualification, which, let's see, who pretty much, this would lead to, of course, double disqualification, meaning neither Diva won, but again, since neither Diva won or lost, it ended up being announced that at WrestleMania, it would be a triple threat Divas title match between Becky, Sasha, and Charlotte. Now,
Who called that one?
Yeah, who called that about, a month ago?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, the fact, I don't like normally to toot my horn right here as far as the booking goes, but seriously, when someone like me can pretty much call the booking to a T from a month ahead, that just shows you how shallow the creative pool is at WWE right now. The fact that someone like me can pretty much dissect how a storyline is going to go. I'm just another crazy fan making predictions, right? Just making my own crazy analysis and dirt sheet topics and all that. Oh no, but lo and behold, here we go. So we got what we wanted. We got what we knew was coming. We got a triple threat match. Three former NXT divas on the biggest stage at WrestleMania, and honestly,
I think Julie wants to weigh in on this one, actually.
Of course, our own resident diva, Miss Julie. Now, Julie, how do you feel about this? Despite that we kind of knew this was coming. How do you feel about the triple threat match now at WrestleMania?
Well, first I want to say that I'm not surprised that you predicted this. I think you're being a little hard on yourself. I'm not surprised at all. You are the poet of WWE. So that's the first thing I want to say. Second thing I want to say, and this is going to surprise you, but the more I watch Charlotte, the more and more I like her. I'm getting behind her. I don't know why, but I'm just starting to really like her. Her attitude, I'm getting behind it now.
She is picking up bits and pieces from her father, on air and off air, which I will agree with you on. There was still just this backstage segment from Raw that made me cringe. That she said that essentially these two were arguing over the Divas title like a 7th grader getting picked up for a high school prom. Charlotte, 7th grade isn't high school. No matter where you are. Even down North Carolina, 7th grade ain't high school. Okay, yeah, just a little note right there. Promo skills are lacking thereof. I agree with you. Charlotte has been building up more steam. Her character, is starting to make more and more sense. She essentially feels she is above all this. She's above the challenger. She's above Becky. She's above Sasha. She feels like no one can really touch her as Divas champion. And as a daughter of Ric Flair, she should feel that way. She should feel like a champion should. So in that sense, yes, I agree with you. She is coming more into her character as we approach
I think she's just the one you love to hate.
Exactly. She's the one we love to hate. She's also one whose promo skills we love to mock. All right. So that essentially covers the big parts of this week in review. We have several. We have the tag team build up with a New Day and Y2AJ. We have the newly refurbished Ryback, who's pretty much been storming through the lower mid-card roster of WWE like he has in years past. So and we just have aimless camera work by Mr. Greg.
He's
Nolan.
expressing himself. This is artistic right here.
Ooh, yeah, he's a. I'd love to express myself right now, but it's a PG show. All right. But
The world needs two of you, Ken, and now we got it.
yeah.
Greg just cloned you.
One of me is scary enough. I don't think we need another. All right.
Moving on.
Moving on. Okay. Yeah, keep that camera steady, Greg. All right. Anyway, like I said, going to this week's Dirt Sheet Dilemma, we had the announcement that at the WWE special Roadblock, which is going to be happening, I believe, next 2 weeks actually, 2 weeks from now. It's going to be Dean Ambrose challenging Triple H versus the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, a lot of things call to me in this match.
Sorry to interrupt. Isn't Bray Wyatt versus Lesnar on that card as well?
Yeah, Bray Wyatt versus Lesnar, which was originally the plan for Brock at WrestleMania. So it seems like that they're kind of giving us kind of like a fantasy matchup here of what we wanted at WrestleMania. Although, like I said, I don't know if anyone really per se wanted Brock versus Bray at WrestleMania, given the relative level of both competitors. But this is a match that I think a lot of people would have preferred for WrestleMania, is Dean challenging Triple H for the WWE World Championship. Now, like I said, this match calls to me on a lot of levels. For one, I mean, this just I get the feeling there's going to be a non-finish to this. I get the feeling there's going to be a DQ. There's going to be some serious outside involvement here, whether it's from the League of Nations, whether it's from Lesnar, whether it's a returning Roman Reigns. We're going to see this match is not going to have a conclusive finish. I can already tell you that. And apparently it's very snowy right now. And anyway, Brian, I mean, what are your feelings? What are your feelings on this match with Ambrose and Triple H? Are they just basically trying to whet our appetites for a future Ambrose Authority feud, or do you feel like there's something more to this match?
You know, I'm just. I think it's gonna be fun. It's extra wrestling we get to watch, but I think it's confusing because you establish this real violent Lesnar Ambrose feud, and then you establish the Reigns Triple H feud, and now you got Triple H and Ambrose, and then you got Brock Lesnar just going against Bray Wyatt just for the heck of it. So I'm a little confused what they're going, but I disagree with you. I know that Ambrose is not going to get the win, but I could easily see Triple H getting the win and, just making him that much stronger going into WrestleMania.
Well, I could see that too. It's just, I feel like this may be sort of a testing type thing. I don't know if they're like trying to like test like the reactions here, if they're trying to bait the audience into reacting a certain way, so that maybe it could be like their way of saying, okay, then we need to go in this direction for WrestleMania. We need to change things up. We need to shuffle things up, because this could be their way of calling an audible without having to call an audible here. It could be that, okay, if there's a non-finish here, we could expect to see Ambrose in some way, shape, or form be involved in the WWE Championship picture going into WrestleMania.
I would be disappointed in that, though, too, because I really do like the Lesnar-Ambrose thing that they got going on.
Well, no, I'm not saying that would change. I'm saying more in the sense that perhaps, much like with Bryan and Triple H at WrestleMania 30, that whoever wins between Ambrose and Lesnar would be inserted into the championship match. That could be the audible they decide to call here. It says, okay, you two both have a right to the championship, so we're making this a number one contendership. Whoever wins will be in a triple threat. It'll be made a triple threat match later tonight. And the problem is, it'll make Ambrose that much of a bigger underdog, because even if he wins, we know Lesnar will outright destroy him in this match, and absolutely no one would pick Ambrose to win, making him that much more of a underdog to get behind going into the supposed triple threat match.
I mean, I just hope that they don't. I mean, I like triple threat matches, but it's just the easy way out. They've been doing it so much lately, and it's sort of a default thing. If they can't make up their mind and they're unsure of it, they'll just say, hey, let's just throw 3 guys in the ring and see what happens. It's an easy way out.
It's the easy way out, but I mean, it's WWE. So, I mean, would you really be surprised?
Not at all.
I mean, okay. I mean, they even have to see that their booking is a bit of a loss right now. So you would have to wonder, okay, are they going to change things up here? Are they going to like throw a wrench into the works with Ambrose or Lesnar?
Yeah, I know. I think Chris wants to weigh in.
All right. Mr. Chris, what are your feelings on this match? I mean, do you feel like it could have any like serious impact going into WrestleMania?
I'm excited. I like Ambrose. From what I've been learning about him, I seem to dig him. He seems right up my alley, and any opportunity there is for me to watch him and actually learn something is pretty valuable.
I mean, can't fault you there. I mean, like I said, Ambrose is the new Stone Cold / CM Punk, again, anti-authority figure. I mean, a lot more people he's getting a lot more steam being put behind him going into WrestleMania than either Triple H or Roman Reigns combined.
And I think Julie had something to say about the Brock Lesnar Bray Wyatt match on that card.
All right, Julie. I mean, what's your take on that match?
I'm gonna.
I think your mic shut off.
You gotta
Can you hear me now?
A little louder.
Can you hear me now? Whoa.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely hear you now.
I was just predicting that I know Wyatt's going to win that one.
Wyatt's going to win the match?
Tell him what you told me. You said how he's going to win. You just tell me earlier. I really like the way that you said it.
I don't want to reveal that on the air right now. We have to save that.
Well, okay. I mean, you're saying that like it's actually going to happen at.
Just tell him what
Why?
you told me earlier.
You don't think it will? I have inside information that it will.
Really? Who did you get the inside information from?
Well, you'll just have to wait and see next week. I'll reveal it.
She's punting on this one, but she had a really great
Julie,
scenario.
come on.
Just get her. I mean, yeah, come on, Julie, share it with us, please.
Julie, come on. You can't say no.
Yeah, no. We're not letting you off this easy.
No, you gotta tell us. Come on.
You want me to tell you how I know?
Yeah.
Because I know somebody.
In the whole scenario, you gave me this whole big scenario and how you think Bray Wyatt's going to come out on top, and then where you heard this from.
Julie, you got the floor here.
Yeah, you got the floor. Take all the time you want.
Okay, I read it online.
What did you read online?
That Wyatt's going to take it.
Okay.
How's he going to take it?
From what side? How is he going to take it?
There's going to be a big injury, and an ambulance is going to come in again.
Okay, so
she said that she thinks the Wyatt family's gonna come in and injure Brock Lesnar, attack his knee, and make it so that it's impossible for him to go against Ambrose at WrestleMania, and then they're gonna end up throwing in Ambrose in the triple threat. That's her theory.
Exactly.
That's actually very intriguing. I mean, obviously,
it's all her. You can give her all the credit.
Oh, no, okay. I mean, I give her and the internet credit for that one, but it is an interesting scenario. It would open up Ambrose to be involved in the WWE title picture, and it would open up for a future Wyatt-Lesnar feud later down the line, perhaps I don't know, go so far as SummerSlam, but at some point in the future in 2016, post-WrestleMania. So, yeah, no, actually, I would be all for that. I mean... Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously we'd be denied the street fight match, which would with Ambrose and Lesnar, but they can always come back to that at a later time, and I mean probably SummerSlam, and yeah. So no, yeah, I think it's a very credible theory. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. So I mean, Julie, I think it's a interesting prediction. I think it's a risky one, but I like it.
Thanks. I was afraid to say it. I wasn't sure how it sounded, but now it's out.
No, I mean, I wouldn't put it past the Wyatt family, obviously. Take out the biggest beast in WWE and pretty much put themselves at the forefront. I'd be all for that. I mean, they're not doing anything, so yeah. All right. So, the last bit I wanted to get to today, kind of a sort of return engagement here for this segment, Ken's Den. Do we have? Do we still have the video segment?
We don't have that loaded up. Actually, we didn't even know that was a thing anymore. They can use their imagination. The fans know what the
Oh
intro
yeah,
is
pretty
like.
much just wolves growling. Grr, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. Yeah. There we go. And cue segment. Okay. All right. So my big issue with this week has been the booking of the Intercontinental Champion Kevin Owens. Now, you have this big tease with Owens and his former friend, current NXT competitor, Sami Zayn. And you had this big tease with Zayn and Owens. You expect to be some aftermath, some fallout, some build up for it, possibly having Zayn making his main roster debut on Raw. And what do you do with it? Absolutely nothing. I mean, Sammy's doing his own thing on NXT with Samoa Joe. Owens has been doing his own thing with pretty much just whoever will cross him. I mean, and apparently that next one is Greg's perennial favorite, The Big Show. Okay, who is pretty much right up there, has been the most inconsistently face heel booked character next to Kane and Mark Henry and pretty much any big man that WWE just sees fit to turn whenever whenever their whimsy may choose. So right now, I mean, Owens got a countout victory last Thursday against the Big Show on SmackDown. The Big Show got his back on Raw with a countout victory over Owens in equally embarrassing fashion, and then Owens loses a non-title match on SmackDown to Dean Ambrose, who's not even involved with Owens anymore. So, again, I mean, I understand that you don't want Dean Ambrose looking weak for his supposed match either with Triple H for the WWE title or for WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar. But, again, you could have thrown anyone out there for Ambrose to go over on SmackDown. You could have put Del Rio out there. You could have put King Barrett. You could have put Sheamus. You could have put any number of steady mid-carders out there for Ambrose to beat down. And instead, you put out the Intercontinental Champion just to take a straight-up clean loss, which boggles my mind as to why they would do this going into WrestleMania. You're making Owens, who should be a dominant force in the mid-card right now, and you're making him look so incredibly weak. I mean, we've seen that he can put down bigger men. We've seen him powerbomb Mark Henry, for God's sakes. The guy can go toe-to-toe with men bigger than him, and he's looking like an absolute weakling against the Big Show, which I don't get. I mean, Brian, do you see where I'm coming from here? I don't get the book. They're not even doing 50-50 booking here with the Big Show and Owens. They're making look like Owens is flat out scared of the Big Show.
No, yeah, I know, and I think I told you before that I was just angry and baffled. It was I don't think anybody understands what happened in that match. I do think that there is going to be an Intercontinental Championship ladder match, multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania again this year. That was one of the better events last year, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, but it cannot feature the Big Show.
I think that the Big Show will be in it.
That would mean we'd probably. I mean, for those who aren't up to date on their Money in the Bank history, Big Show actually has been in one Money in the Bank ladder match, and at that match, we saw the use of a huge, like almost golden, like 300-pound ladder that only pretty much Big Show could carry and use. So we could very well see the return of that if Big Show's in the IC title picture.
Unless have they announced if they're doing the Andre the Giant Battle Royale?
They haven't yet, but I would not be surprised.
If they do that, then Big Show is not going to be in the ladder match. But if they're not going to have that Battle Royale, I think that unfortunately we will see, and fortunately for Greg, we will see Big Show in that Intercontinental Championship match.
Yeah, but I mean, look, like I said, I mean, you had a perfectly like simmering feud with Zayn and Owens. You could have just revisited right here. I mean, have Zayn wrap up his feud with Samoa Joe in NXT, since we know he was going to be on the losing end of that. Have him come up to make his main roster re-debut, so to speak, against challenging Owens for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. I mean, there you go. There you go. And they could revisit the feud that they never really got around to in NXT since Zayn went down with a shoulder injury. Clear, crisp, there you go. But instead, we're getting this, and I don't get this. I mean, Big Show seems to be the default go-to guy whenever they don't have something to do for a mid-card champion or whoever's flagging as a mid-card face or heel. Just stick him against Big Show. Makes no sense. And problem is, half the time Big Show goes over, and that's not supposed to be the end game here. All right, Big Show doesn't need more wins here. He just needs to be able to put over the more elevated talent at this stage in his career. That's what needs to happen. All right. So we've, a bit of a short show, but we have come to the end of episode 105 of the Wrestling Connection. Like I said, this is kind of a go-to here. I mean, we're on the road to WrestleMania. We've, like I said, plenty of twists and bumps. We've had quite a few bumps here with the WWE Roadblock special a couple weeks from now, with Ambrose versus Triple H, Wyatt versus Lesnar. I mean, we got Big Show gunning for the IC title. We've got the New Day fending off tag team challengers left and right. We got the Divas title triple threat match. So, and of course, Shane and Vince and Undertaker. And of course, we have Shane coming next week on Raw. So with any luck, we'll have much more build-up for the Shane McMahon Undertaker match than we did this week, even though Vince did have some choice words for what would happen if Shane lost. So all in all, they're furthering the storylines along bit by bit, which is good. We're getting a slow burn. We're not just rushing into everything. So I think that's what we really need right now, is a slow burning storyline. But we don't want to do it so slow that they leave a lot of plot holes here like they did this week. Hopefully, like I said, with next week with Shane on Raw, we can get some of those plot holes filled in. So in the meantime, folks, that is all for episode 105 of the Wrestling Connection. For Brian Dorrington, for Miss Julie, for Greg, for everyone here at the Wrestling Connection,
Chris.
and Chris. I am Ken Hill, reminding you, as always, to be connected, get connected, and stay connected. You have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.